Alex Kurtzman knows his days are numbered. He has been told by Paramount to prepare for no new Star Trek deal. This is the best information we've had so far, exclusively here on the Tachyon Pulse, that the Kurtzman era of Star Trek is going to be coming to an end. Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast.
Our Tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
So we've been hearing rumours going back a year, and to be honest, every so often rumours were popping up that Alex Kurtzman was going to be fired or something else on YouTube, basically by people who don't really understand the deal that Alex Kurtzman has. Kurtzman was never at risk of being fired. He can only really be removed by ending the current contract. Now, the current contract he has with Paramount is very heavily leaning towards Secret Hideout in lots and lots of ways. And I told you guys a while ago, he has something in the contract that basically means he is able to complete anything that's in production at the time of the current deal ending. Well, I'm actually now being told by somebody who works on the business side of Star Trek that actually that proviso has to be agreed by both sides. So, if something is production, say Strange New Worlds Season 5, which I told you going back again a year that was going to be the most we ever got, that if it's in production at the time or post-production, that Secret Hideout will be paid to complete it. They're now being told to make sure that it's done by the time their contract ends in August of 2026. So, they're not, and there is no guarantee that basically they would be paid if production wasn't completed. That show could end up just disappearing into the ether. It would never actually be shown. So, by the fact that they're doing 6 episodes for the final season, really shows that they think that's the most they can get done. The production for Season 5 is going to happen this year, the end of this year. They need to really be done by, say, February to give them a good solid 6 months for post-production. And that is why they're doing it. And that is why we're only getting 6 episodes, I'm told. Now, we are getting Seasons 1 and 2 of Academy, but they've already filmed Season 1. They're currently filming Season 4 of Strange New Worlds. They're going to then go straight into Season 2 of Academy, which will be in the next couple of months. That'll take about 6 months. And then by roughly December, running into Christmas, they'll start production and filming for Season 5, the 6 episodes of Strange New Worlds. They will need to, as I said, get that done within 2 or 3 months. That is a tough order. But once the deal's done, Skydance will hopefully be the owners by then, depending on what happens. Skydance can then do some sort of short-term deal and allow them to complete anything that isn't quite done. I don't think they would, really want to screw things over here at that point. They're going to want that season on their screens. I have told you as well, guys, that there are lots, and I'm told by somebody that's on the legal side of things over in the industry, basically, that the deal that is existing currently does mean, actually, that there's lots of provisos about when the contract ends. Basically, Kurtzman's Secret Hideout company is very dependent on Star Trek for its existence, and they knew that when they signed the extension. So, there are things in there, balloon payments and things, that are supposed to protect the company. I'm told that Paramount are already exploring, with Skydance in the background, ways to avoid a lot of those payments, and they're going to have to basically work with Kurtzman to make that happen. But I'm told a couple of movie deals, maybe an exclusivity deal of some sort, and Kurtzman will go for that. I actually think Kurtzman has never really been a lover of Star Trek. It's been his cash cow, and he's done very well out of it. But I think he's always wanted to do other things, and this would really allow him maybe to do that. And if he keeps his relationship with Paramount positive, then Paramount will support him in that because they want a nice clean break with Star Trek. But is this definite? Are they definitely not getting a deal? Are the anti-Kurtzman people really going to be happy? Unfortunately, we can't say that at this point. What I'm being told is that Secret Hideout are being told by Paramount to prepare for the possibility of not getting a new contract. And actually, if basically season 3 of Star Trek 90210, Star Trek Academy, isn't greenlit at some point during season 2, or basically once Skydance are actually in chair under the table sort of thing, I would point at that and saying they're definitely not getting a new deal. The last extension that put them through till 2026, and back in 2021, apparently took 12 months to negotiate. That really means Skydance would have to be in power very soon and start negotiating that if it took 12 months again to complete. I'm told that these deals are never quick and they always take forever. But I'm told that, look, 3 or 4 months is doable if both sides are basically agreeable. If there aren't any major sort of things that people argue over. But I'm also told that when these contracts happen, there's always something. Neither side want to give an inch. Both sides want as good a deal as they can possibly get. Now, last time, with the extension, Secret Hideout got a very good deal. Because Paramount really weren't in the position to argue particularly. They didn't want to do Star Trek, and at the time, Star Trek was building a bit of momentum. So they went with Kurtzman. The incredible Kurtzman, they released in the statement they did to announce that Strange New Worlds was only beginning the 5th season. I think they're going to want to keep him sweet, and that really will lead to some sort of exclusivity deal. But it could also lead to an extension. I'm told that really depends on how well Academy does. If Season 1 and maybe even Season 2 of Academy, if they haven't decided by that point when that drops, but primarily it's going to be Season 1, because by the time Season 1 of Academy drops, it's going to be towards the end of this year or early next year, remembering that their deal ends in August. That only really gives them 7 or 8 months to make a decision and then negotiate a deal. So if Academy does well, I'm told there could be room for a negotiation for some sort of extension. But the noose around Kurtzman's neck is Section 31, and I'm told Skydance were furious at the way that was handled. So it doesn't help. It also doesn't help that there is quite a divided fan base under Star Trek. And to be honest, there always is a divided fan base. Whenever there's a new show of Star Trek, whether it was TNG, people got angry. DS9, people got angry. Voyager, people got angry. And we look back on them now with love. But people hated Deep Space Nine when it first came out. People hated Voyager when it first came out. People hated Enterprise. Pretty much all the way through the run. But you go back now and watch Enterprise and it's brilliant compared to some of the NuTrek we've got. So we've always had a slightly divided fan base, but Star Wars does as well, to be fair. But nothing quite like what we've got with Kurtzman's Trek, I don't think. So what does that mean for Star Trek moving forwards? I'm basically being told that there's been no decision. But they're aiming to have a couple of movies out around the time that the last couple of seasons will drop, and I think Skydance are going to want to deal with a lot of other problems within Paramount before they maybe make a decision on Star Trek. It's not the thing that's most popular on Paramount Plus at the moment. It's the Taylor Sheridan and things like that are doing way better for Paramount Plus at the moment. So I'm told that Star Trek just isn't the massive priority that it once was, and that maybe a pause of the TV series, a couple of movies, and then basically restart something new might be the way to go. Basically what they did the last time Star Trek went on pause, and we got the J.J. Abrams movies, which, however you feel about them, developed some excitement and some interest in the series, and then when the new series came, people were genuinely excited about it. How do I feel about it? I think it is time for Kurtzman to move on. I think there are good bits and bad bits of all of the Kurtzman era Star Trek. I think they're all made beautifully. I think the writing's not great. I think Strange New Worlds was cast beautifully, and I love everything about Lower Decks. So I'm not a hater on this. I'm not a hater on Kurtzman. I think he has done a lot better with Star Trek over the last year or two, trying to basically earn some of the trust back following Disco, the first couple of seasons. I think he's managed that for some fans and not others. Skydance are looking at it and thinking, once we get in control, though, we'll really dig into things and decide what we want to do. Until then, they're being told to prepare for the worst. And I think that will make an awful lot of fans very happy. And some fans very sad. But get into the comments and tell me what you think. Is the fact that Kurtzman is being told to prepare for the worst basically that sign that we were waiting for? Until Skydance are in power, I don't think they can make a final decision because they're not in power at Paramount yet. They don't own Paramount yet. So I think this is the best we're going to get. But the fact that Strange New Worlds is only getting the 6 episodes, it's been announced now, really does underline what I've been saying for over a year, that this was the plan, to wind down towards the end of the contract. Do you think the evidence is pointing more and more in that direction? Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. It really helps us out, and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can become a member of the channel and get to see a lot of our videos first. Go check that out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.